Hello there, it's me again. We've got more severe weather on the way and a lot of other stuff to talk about in the weather world, so let's get right into it. First of all, this big old blob of clouds right here is causing us some problems today in the south. Let's go ahead and talk about that. Storm Prediction Center has an enhanced risk of severe weather for Texas, Louisiana, southern portions of Mississippi, Alabama, and the panhandle of Florida associated with that big blob of clouds that we just saw. We got 2 rounds of storms coming across these parts of the world here. One of them's going across right now as I'm filming this. The other one's going to get its act together around the time this video goes up. It's going to bring about some severe weather. Now, the main threat is going to be this wind threat. We're going to have damaging winds, especially in East Texas over there towards the panhandle of Florida, and excessive hurricane force at times. But for the most part, this is going to be the biggest problem. There's not much of a hail threat, even though there is a hail threat. And there's also not as much of a tornado threat, even though, of course, we cannot rule out a tornado or two, especially down there around New Orleans, especially down there around Mobile, Alabama, over towards Pensacola. We've got a 5% probability of a tornado happening today within 25 miles of any given point in that brown zone there, and even in the green, that's 2%. Here's what the radar is going to look like for the rest of the day. 4 p.m. Our first round of storms, it's probably already caused quite a few problems across the deep south, is going to be fizzling out, okay? But we're going to have some new storms popping up back here in southeast Texas. Houston, watch out. 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central. Honestly, at this point, this is probably when the hail threat's going to be the biggest, so you guys could probably get in on some hail, but certainly some damaging winds are possible over there, maybe even some flash flooding. Things are going to get a little bit more organized as we go towards 8 p.m. as we're starting to see one of those classic squall lines or bow echoes form here. This is when things are going to be moving into southeast Louisiana. New Orleans, you guys can expect some of those damaging winds between 8 and 10 p.m. tonight. Those will also be moving into southern Mississippi and Alabama. And then things really get going here in the panhandle of Florida in the early morning hours, right before completely dying out almost as we get into 5, 6, 7 a.m. on Tuesday. So here's the progression of that. Once again, it's going to be a very quick hitting, fast moving, damaging wind bag essentially. The tornado threat's not zero, but I just don't see a lot of supercellular activity here. Definitely get ready for those winds. And then as that stuff continues to die out across the Gulf of Mexico, watch the spinning area of low pressure up here in the Midwest moving into the Ohio Valley spark up some new storms on Tuesday. Okay, these could actually be some small hail makers, some isolated damaging wind makers on Tuesday in the afternoon and evening in Kentucky down into Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. We've also got a chance of some hailers and some general thunderstorms up here in South Dakota, Nebraska, back into Wyoming. A couple of claps of thunder are possible up here in Canada, down into New England, but none of these really look like they're going to be big deals, okay? These are general garden variety spring thunderstorms. Get used to them, especially if you're on the eastern side of the U.S. We're going to be dealing with this for a while. As you can clearly see here through our blue blobs, on this map here, we're looking at height anomalies, and typically the blue blobs are associated with sinking air, cooler temperatures, and weather systems that bring about rain and thunderstorms. So you can see we've got a pesky one of those blue blobs hanging out all the way until the latter part of the week here in the eastern part of the U.S. Once again, this is going to keep those rain chances around and those general garden variety thunderstorms around through the end of the week. We've got a big ridge trying to form up here in the northwest, bringing about some nicer weather, some cooler weather, but a little bit of moisture from the Pacific and some cooler air from Canada is going to try to come down into the central U.S. as we go towards the weekend. This will likely lead to another round of showers and thunderstorms. Now, this one could probably end up causing a larger storm system that we might have to watch a little bit closer. This kind of pattern in the past, especially in May, does have a tendency to try to produce some localized severe weather. But for the most part, I really do think that the vast majority of people here are just going to experience some slightly cooler weather and wetter weather as a result of this larger trough that's coming into the north here. We're going to have another cutoff low go through the south, leading to likely another storm system, kind of like what we're seeing today down there in the south as we go towards the weekend. And the overall pattern is eventually going to build to this situation where we're going to have constant troughing over here in the northwest, bringing cooler air into the Pacific Northwest. And we're really going to try to have an extended period of time where we get a ridge down here in the south over towards the Great Lakes region where we get our period of nicer weather and some higher temperatures as we go into the latter part of May. But this kind of pattern is notorious for, in the middle, creating a battle zone where we're going to have lots of storms, lots of chances for severe weather as we go through the end of May, which is our climatological peak of severe weather season. And just to kind of put all of that into an easier to digest form for you here, this is where it's going to rain. Tuesday, May 14th at 5 p.m., for example. Everybody in the green has a chance of rain. The darker greens are heavier rain, maybe some thunderstorms. We've got a little bit of snow even moving into the higher elevations of Wyoming back here with some of that cooler air aloft associated with our blue blobs. Notice how that rain lingers in the east east for quite some time, and then we get that other storm system moving in, and it's just going to be a constant rain fest for a lot of us in the east until we get that ridge trying to build up here, which is going to happen as we go towards the end of May. All the way between now and May 22nd, these are the areas that are likely to see the most rain. This tells the story of like what the weather's going to be like over the next week or so. Anybody in the oranges or reds, there's quite a bit of rain that's going to fall here. I wouldn't worry too much about it because a lot of this is going to fall over an extended period of time. You might get a half an inch this day, an inch this day. None of this is likely going to cause flash flooding problems. However, in the deep south, from South Carolina back towards Louisiana, you guys could actually have some flooding problems. A lot of this is going to fall today, but we do have that other system that's going to work through during the weekend. That's going to bring some more heavy rain down here. So flash flooding is definitely on the table for you guys, unfortunately. Beyond that, the only thing that we've got to watch out for, once again, is our ridge building up in the south and our cool air continuing to come down from the northwest into the more north central portions of the U.S. This is between the next 8 and 14 days, so we're looking deep into the future here. Our pattern could shift a little bit like this. And once again, anytime you see a pattern like this, you have to draw this line in between them, and that's where you're likely to see recurring storms and maybe even severe weather, especially in May. So thankfully, there's nothing huge going on here. I don't have any like major storm systems to show you. Nothing happening in the tropics yet. We're going to enjoy this little bit of a break. I'm going to keep you updated. We're going to keep doing the weather and all that stuff, but hopefully we go a couple weeks before we have to talk about another potential tornado outbreak or anything like that. In the meantime, we've got a lot of work to do. The Y'all Squad has its plate full because we've got a lot of towns that we're going to be going to try to help people that were just impacted by severe weather. So of course, nobody has to donate, but if you want to make a contribution to our efforts over here on the y'allsquad.org, you can hit that donate button and make a tax-deductible donation to our official 501c3 nonprofit organization, and every penny is going to go towards helping someone who has been affected by severe weather, whether it's hurricanes, tornadoes, flash floods. We've covered it all in the past. We're going to continue to cover it all in the future. Thank you guys so much for allowing us to do this, and that's all I have for you today. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Ooh.